And good morning on Sunday morning. This is like the call to arms, the emergency. Everybody get together. Yeah, let's make a late call. We've got a surprising pick five carryover in the early pick five of over 406,000. George, we were so busy yesterday. I was shocked to see no one had the pick five going to Vegas in race five. And this rarely happens in Southern California.
I mean, the defending champion is not covered. It's unbelievable. But it's really good news for us because we got a wonderful pick five to go into today with that over $406,000. And it is a tough sequence. 11 horses, 10 horses, 11 horses. A lot of times the early pick five, you got some smaller fields. Not today. Coincidentally, it's going to be just an incredible pick five sequence.
Yeah, and like you were saying, Gino, this actually it almost seemed like it would be planned. Clearly, it wasn't. But we've got giant fields in all five races, and really some tough sequences. And with all this money up for grabs, we could have a nice payday here.
Leftovers over $406,000 in the pool. Everybody likes leftovers on like a Sunday morning, right? And that's what we have today. A bunch of that money left over from yesterday. The first race I thought was really challenging because it's competitive. You can use a lot. And then the second race is challenging for the opposite reason because like, who do you want to use in race number two? It's like a lower level maiden race where you really can't trust anyone. I know George has talked about this race already a couple days ago as maybe a spot where there could be a possible single. But it's funny to see two races where they're difficult for completely different reasons, but a challenging pick five sequence nonetheless.
All right, well, let's dive right in. We've only got about 25 minutes. We're going to try to make this quick. We were going to start on time, 9:30. As Skip and I well know, when it comes to trying anything on devices other than just talking, we can't figure it out. So we're a little bit late. And football does start at 10. Football seems to be king around here. So we want to just get this in about 20 minutes. We'll go over it quickly and we'll move on. So Skipper, race one, we talked about this a little early. We're kicking it off. We've got a full field of, 12 right now. There could probably be a scratch. There is also eligible. What are you thinking here in race one?
Tough sequence like we talked about. I like the Jeff Mullins. I love that he claimed this horse, the filly, put it on the grass, had trouble. This is what the filly wants to do. She wants to be on the grass. She ran really good. She stayed a little bit. She ran gamely. She galloped out good last time. He's 27% off the bitch. I like that one, but the one that I like the most is a 3. Say it for me, Gino.
Tecumseh.
Yeah, Tecumseh, Caroline. I still can't get it right, but I like this one. I like it going back to the grass. Last race, it looked like it needed one. It had a little sneaky trouble in there, galloped out good, but with the stride and everything, my top play is going to be the 3 in there.
Well, Georgie, you can't go wrong with a horse like that. The Lord of the Lawn, that was off of a long layoff. Now he goes back to the turf. What are you thinking in here, George?
Well, I thought that was a highly competitive race to start off. And just to begin, I love betting pick five sequences, and I know a lot of people do as well. And very rarely do you come across a pick five carryover. So if you normally bet $20, today's the day to bet $40. Today's the day to get involved with your office pool and say, let's pool our money together. Let's put in a big ticket. This is the time to get involved. It's fantastic. When I always look for a pick five sequence, I'm always looking for 1 or 2 singles and try to spread because there's always a race that you go, I never would have came up with that horse ever if just trying to pick the top 3 runners. So my objective is to find a couple of singles, which I have, and spread in the other race. This first race is a major spread for me. My top pick is number 4, Adams Creed. Adams Creed, that was a sneaky debut. Really good. Some of the ones in here beat him, but it was his first start. She had all kinds of trouble that day. She could easily improve second time out for Tim Yakteen, a very sharp trainer. So she's going to be my top pick, but I'm using 7 in here because this is an absolutely wide open race.
Yeah, wide open race, Gino. And as Georgie said, Tim Yakteen, he won with a second-time starter yesterday. He's better usually second time out. Or is this a spread for you as well, Gino?
Adams Creed's definitely on my ticket, no doubt about it. I will be spreading out a little bit. Let me give you a couple others that will be on my ticket for sure. That might be a little bit outside the box. I don't know how much speed there is for this type of a race. Honestly, when you look at a 6 furlong turf sprint, how much early speed is there? On paper, maybe 2 horses, 3.0 and Roubaix. And Roubaix had a slow start last time out. I think they're going to make sure to try to get her close. I want to make sure both of them are on my pick 5 to start, because if one of the 2 of them goes and the other is left, they may be gone. There's just not that much early speed for a sprint race. And Chappie, I think you're going to mention the other Jeff Mullins, the first-time starter. Is that the one you were going to mention, or the one that he liked, Tecumseh, or was it with the other one that you that Skippy mentioned?
Yeah, good Buju.
Okay, because he has 2 right next to each other, and I actually thought the first-time starter is a little bit intriguing. He's not as great overall with firsters, but this one has 3 winning turf sibs, and there's a little bit of turf there. So if you are already spreading out in the first race, if you said, I'm going to spread out, the horses you want to throw in are the price horses, right? Because you're looking to catch a price. So don't eliminate big prices like that. If you're going to eliminate any horses right off the bat, eliminate the short price ones. If you're going 6 or 7 deep and you catch a short price, well, who cares, right? You can come right back, you play a pick 4, or, there are other short prices you like more. But if you're spreading out, use some of the bigger prices in here. That would be my thought process in race 1.
All right, so we basically are saying this is definitely a spread race if you can in race 1. George, we're going to start with you in race 2. We got the old maiden 20 here, and I think George is coming with an 0 for 17 single. Georgie, give us your angles here, and it's hard to argue with.
It's funny. I mean, we talked about this particular race because we had a show on Friday. We usually have a good show every Friday. We're going to try to do that. And when you asked me my best bet in the entire weekend, and I came up with Careless Kitten. So coincidentally falls in the early pick 5. And boy, how I love betting 1 for 17 maidens. I mean, 0 for 17 maidens. Boy, they win so often.
Yeah.
But gosh, he found the field that he just towers over. I mean, it is just not even close on the Thoroughgraph numbers. This is the weakest field. If he's going to win, today's the day. Pereira's been right and good. I am definitely singling Careless Kitten in race number 2.
All right. Well, obviously Careless Kitten towers over most of them. I mean, I guess you could make a case just of a possibilities, Skipper. Maybe the one who's only ran once, although it draws the rail. The 7 College Boy who's only ran twice and is dropping. And the 9 Dad Bod, who ran awful both times out, but first time out was a maiden special weight. Last time out went long, now cuts back and goes back to that maiden 20 level. Do you give a look to any of them, or are you on the Careless Kitten train with Georgie?
I am not. When I see 0 for 17 and the horse keeps finding trouble, that shows me that the horse just wants to run with other horses. It doesn't have the heart to win and pass horses. It's always got to have a horse in front of it to run with, a pack horse, so to speak. I'm giving the 2 a big shot. I like when they go turf to dirt and route to sprint. I don't know what happened at Golden Gate when it ran a mile on the grass. It was eased, walked off, but I've seen this happen before where they're eased, walk off, they come back to win. That race at Del Mar on August 11th was not bad at all. Had trouble in there. It was a key race. The 2nd and 3rd place finisher came back to win. This horse is a sneaky horse in here. I'm going to be using probably about 4 or 5 on one ticket, and my other ticket, I'm going to hit the all button because these maiden 20s, anything could happen. And the favorite, with the trouble, and I know it looks like it towers over the field with numbers, but like I said, 0 for 17, I try to beat those horses. So on one ticket, I'm going to hit the all button too. Anything could happen in this race.
Well, Gino, I know, like George said, I'm sure this is now or never. This horse doesn't win this race. I'm sure George will never bet this horse again. But like yesterday, and I believe it was early in the card, Phil D'Amato had an 0 for several trainer who looked like it towered over in race 1 yesterday.
Yeah.
Right.
But yet finished second once again. Does that factor into your handicapping too?
I will say this particular horse has been a beaten favorite before, but he's never faced a field this soft. No doubt about it. So I'm not chucking him out, but I am going to use one more. And I'm a little bit offended by the name of the horse to the outside because, guys, I got the 24-inch pythons right here. Not all the dad bods are bad. Like, some of the dad bods are good bods. I do my DDP yoga. I can rock it. So I think this horse has a sneaky good effort last time out. It doesn't look great on paper, but what happened, he was outside. He was sitting in the two path in the kind of the perfect spot, pressing. Two horses made big early moves to the outside. And all of a sudden, instead of sitting second pressing, he's too deep out of four. He's in between horses and he kind of gets in tight and he has to just back up and he can't come on again. Now he cuts back. He's drawn to the outside. I think he's just going to be able to sit pretty close there. So I will use the two outside horses. You want to see the guns one more time, Chappie? I saw you smiling over there. Yeah. The dad bod.
Full disclosure, this morning, Gino had called me at 5:30 in the morning. I said, Gino, I'm sleeping. And Gino was in the garage using his Bowflex already. So he had been up working, crunching. I think he's got about a 3-hour workout in this morning. So dad bod, Gino says, is live. All right, let's move on to race 3. Gino, we're going to start with you. We got a mile maiden special weight, a field of 8. What are you looking at here? State bred, California breds. I can't.
I was on mute for a second. It's like the first time I've done one of these streams, right? Seriously. I remember my first beer. Dahmer Lake was a horse who initially I was thinking about singling. I came more back to this race. I will still include, but in watching the races back, I like the 3 more and more. Hot Legs Romolo, because this is a horse who is probably the horse to catch in here, but he didn't get the lead last time out. It was funny. He broke right on top, but they decided to take back a little bit. It was like they wanted to maybe see if he could come from off the pace. And then he got stuck in a little bit of traffic, but he angled out and he closed really well. He just missed third that day. I think they'll probably go back to putting him right on the lead in here. And there's really not that much other speed. I could absolutely see him getting the lead. I'll probably be pretty obvious. I'll use the 3, I'll use Dahmer Lake, and I'll use 4 Flag. They to me seem like the horses who are the really logical ones. So I'll probably use those 3 in exotics in the third in this pick 5.
And we always talk about a lot of this pace makes the race, but I want to remind everybody, check scratches and changes, because for instance, yesterday in the last race, we talked about this a bit before we started, there were 2 speed horses in that race. One of them scratched, which led to the 2 being the lone speed, who was 12-1 on the morning line and went wire to wire. On paper, it didn't look like that horse was getting an easy lead. After changes, a lot can happen, Skip. So that's an important thing to look at, because I know we're always putting we play out the race in our head. It doesn't always shape up that way, but that's kind of how you got to do it.
Yeah, 100%. It's tough. And sometimes, it's a late scratch or whatever, and you already have your ticket in, and it's like, then you're SOL. You can't do anything about it, but you definitely got to make sure you check the scratches and everything. This third race, I have a pretty good opinion. I like a price in here. It's number 6, Touch of Zen. First time out, this horse steadied early. It checked. It ran really good. It had a great gallop out. It ended up on the inside, galloped out past everybody. This horse likes the turf. Last time they tried it at Los Al, they put it on the dirt, obviously at Los Al, broke slow, but it had a wide trip the whole way. It was probably 6-7 wide the whole way around the track. I love this horse stretching out and going back to the grass. This horse has a little speed. I think the 3, like Gino said, is going to be in front. The 3 will be on my ticket also. But I think at 15-1, this 6 horse has got a big shot in here. I'm going to use a couple other ones also. I'm going to use the 1 with Peter Miller claiming this horse. Gosh, he's red hot right now. What, he won 3 races yesterday?
3 races, yeah.
Unbelievable. So you got to use the 1. I like Dahmer Lake too, stretching back out, going back to the grass. What I told you earlier about the horses, the pack animals, the horses that just don't look like they want to win. They don't want to pass horses. I think that's the 8 horse here. I see the same race every time, and I bet this horse a few times. And every time it runs the same race, but there's always a horse in front of it. It just doesn't look like it wants to pass that last horse. So I'm going to use the 1, 3, 5, and 6. And 6 is my long shot and my top play. Hopefully stretching out and going back to the grass at 15-1. I'll be very happy.
Well, I'd love to hear what George has to say. First of all, like we always talk about, when trainers like Peter Miller get hot, make sure you pay attention to that. And then when Skippy says, I like a 15-1 and it's trained by the Sultan of Saud, as George calls him, his eyes perked up about this big. So, George, were you looking that way or are you looking somewhere else?
All right, so I do Santa Anita Oy. I put my picks every day in the program in English and Spanish on the website in English and Spanish. And my top pick in this race number 3, is number 6, Touches End. So you look in the program, that's my top pick, 15-1. I love this kid Payeras. I get to see him a lot when I do the quarters over there at Los Alamitos. This is a really good jockey. This is not some scrub that people go, who the heck is Payeras? This guy can ride. He's good. The trainer, he's no scrub either. The trainer's pretty good. Sultan of Saud. And this is a perfect, you've seen it so many times. 2 sprints and then a stretch out. That's the MO for many victories. And I think this one's going to run much better. Look, that all the things that Skip said, I liked about him a lot. Also, I'm going with the Birdcage. I like the Birdcage. I'm putting that one in here as well.
I do not wear shoes because they make me fall down. The shoes, they hurt my feet.
I love that movie. And one of my favorite movies. And so I got that one, who's been running good. So and I just single Val Brinkerhoff in the first. It could be a Val Brinkerhoff back to back. You never know. And of course, I'm using the 8 because I want my picks to cumulatively be like 0 for 307 is what I'm hoping.
You're gonna break the record today.
Yeah, right. I'm picking horses that are 0 for 1 million. And hopefully that today's the day, baby.
It was great about your horse, Agador Spartacus. The song that he sings, he works hard for the money, so hard for the money. So, Georgie, you're working for your money today with Agador.
We're working.
Thank God Gino isn't a singer for a living. And by the way, the Val Brinkerhoff t-shirts will be available at giorgio.com.
Val Brinkerhoff. That's right.
Hector Berrios
and the
shirts
Candyman.
didn't sell out last week. Yeah.
The Candyman shirts are also on discount. I think.
Candyman shirts, limited supplies available at giorgio.com. All right, let's move on quickly to the 4th. It looks like another tough race here, Gino. Field of 10 going 6 panels here. What say you in the 4th?
Smiling at Val's in a good spot here, cutting back. I think this will be a really nice spot for Smiling at Val, get a little more punch. I mean, honestly, you dive into his career overall and you put a line through the race at Del Mar on September the 2nd. He was 67-1 and he was just in a little bit too tough that day. He had trouble. His races at this level and like on the dirt are good. Maybe he just didn't like the synthetic. You look at the first 3 races up on the synthetic at Golden Gate weren't quite as good. They were also in against maiden special weights, but as soon as he moved over to the dirt, he's just been much better. If you're looking for a price in here, I'm going to throw the 10 Divine Feminine in. This horse's races may not look quite as good on paper, but the numbers and figures say that they're just as good as everybody else's in here. Slow start was last, kind of move inside, but into some traffic. I think he's a little bit sneaky. And I'm going to throw in the 1 Sonic Breeze with the blinkers coming on. So I'll probably use those 3 in the pick 5 in race number 4.
All right, 3 deep, and he's using your man Edgar Payeras, Georgie. What are you looking at here in the 4th?
I'm also using 7 in here. So my pick 5 is 7 by 1 by 7. I'm sorry, I'm using 6 in here by 6 by 1. So I'm using a bunch of them, but Sonic Breeze is my top pick. 3 seconds in a row because I don't like horses that win a lot. Obviously, you could tell.
Yeah.
Who needs that? I like horses that love coming in second.
George is playing the pick 5, but it's all seconds today. It's the place pick 5. Is that what he's playing?
It's a new way here George has created for himself.
Yeah, right. And and earlier, Gino was doing he was doing exercise. I was doing exercise with the Grace's pudding, banana pudding, and I was like, "Oh man, my arms are getting big from eating all that pudding." But Sonic Breeze is going to be 1 of 6 that I'm using in the pick 5.
All right, Kate. First of all, I didn't know we had banana pudding here in the office. So
banana pudding.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're going to end the show now. Thank you guys for coming. Good luck in race 5. I got to get some banana pudding. Now, Skipper, what are you thinking here? Sonic Breeze, Maldonado signed up. They're adding the blinkers. I'm assuming they're sending. Is that the speed of the speed? Which way you looking here?
It looks like the speed of the speed, but I just don't like that inside draw. I mean, if it breaks a tad slow or whatever, they're going to have to rush. It could get shut off. I'm going to spread in here. It's a tough race. The 1, the 2, I think the 2 cutting back in distance. Couple back. This horse didn't run too bad. Last race, it was terrible. It was in a speed duel and then just flat. And I think cutting back to 6 furlongs will help this horse. It's got a little speed too with Vasquez on there. I'm going to use the 5. It's going to be on my ticket. And my sneaky one is Fireman Dan, the 6 horse.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with him, right, on the drop. He was the horse that I had a tough time figuring out.
That last race, he had a weird stumble at the start. It was very strange. And then the 2 back, he was on the grass. I think this horse wants the dirt. I like the drop in class. I like cutting back in distance. That horse is going to be on my ticket. So will Quick Intro and Smiling at Val and Divine Feminine. Those are the horses I'm going to use. I don't have a strong opinion, but make sure the 6 is on the ticket.
All right, so it looks like we're pretty much another spread race, I think. And it's George. Oh, I thought you were going to make a comment there, George.
Well, no, I was just saying, my ticket is pretty large, but it can't be as. I mean, Skip, he liked a lot of horses in the first race, everybody in the second race, 9 horses in the third race, and 14 horses in this race. What is that ticket? Like $850,000? I don't got that kind of bankroll. But
I'm only going 2 deep in the first leg, Georgie.
Okay.
The 3 and the 9.
I was going to say maybe he has a single in the 5th, and we end with the grade 3 Surfer Girl. I think a lot of people are going to single Comanche Country here at 8-5 in the morning line. Phil D'Amato has another one in there, Excelia. I believe they had worked together, Skip. Did you watch that work on XBTV? Do you have a single? Do you have some other opinions in here?
I'm going to single the 3 Comanche Country. I love the way that this horse has been winning. It's 2 races at Del Mar were very impressive. Last race, it was sitting in a great spot. Once it switched leads mid-stretch, it just took off. And I love the gallop out. Her ears were straight up. I love the way that she did it. This horse wants to beat you. I love the 3 Comanche Country in here. So I will be singling, yes.
All right, single in there, and Sell the Dream came out of that race, and a couple other ones here as well, including Havana Angel, who got bet first time out for Leonard Powell. What are you looking at, Gino? Are you going to use a couple in here? Or?
Yeah, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to play 2 tickets, and I will play 1 ticket where I single Comanche Country, and I try to get there. That way, on that ticket, I can basically use all my opinions in the first 4 races. I can throw a couple extra horses in. Then I'll come back and I'll play a second ticket where I use Comanche Country, Excelia, Fast and Shiny, and Havana Angel to give me coverage in the last. And then I can go back in the first 4 legs, probably go about 2 deep in each of those with my strong opinions. That way, if my strong opinions win all the way, I'll be alive multiple times and I'll have an opportunity to beat Comanche Country. I'd love to set myself up that way because I do think if you're playing on a smaller budget, Comanche Country is an absolute logical single. And if you want to do that, I would never talk you off doing that. But if I have the opportunity to just set myself up and beat this filly just in case, I think so many people will be single to her that this could be, I'd love to have the chance too, just to have a couple others, even if it's on a smaller ticket, because I think all 4 of us might go, oh, yep, she's a single, and have big tickets single to her. Think about how many other people will be doing the same. And if you're closing and you have just 3, maybe a horse like a Fast and Shiny just took a wild card, gets out front, or maybe the other D'Amato, like George, you mentioned Excelia. What about the Leonard Powell horse who can improve? Those would be the others for me. But my bigger ticket will have Comanche Country singled. I'll have 2 different approaches today.
Yeah, right. It's such a key, I know, for all 4 of us. We try to, if you're going to make the big scores, you try to single where everybody else doesn't. Sometimes you just have to take the free square, although like real quick yesterday, we weren't sure of Cave Rock. Boy, were we wrong on that one.
Wow.
Not that none of us didn't like that horse, but we thought maybe Hijazi had a shot. And Cave Rock just ran him off their feet. But George, are you going single time here as well in the last?
Well, this is my main ticket right here, and it is singling the 3, but
with the smiley face, I like it.
right? But I am, I got the T-shirt out because I got in the second leg Val Brinkerhoff, in the third leg I'm using Val Brinkerhoff, and in race 4 I'm using Smiling at Val. So it's a Val. I got
Wow.
a big Val T-shirt on today, baby.
That's great.
All right.
I
Well,
love that when we talk with George, there's always a theme to his selections for each day. There's
Well,
a constant theme. We had the Barrios, we had the Candyman, and it's all about Val today. So
Val.
make
It's
sure,
all-
George, you got to keep us on our toes. I expect you to come every day with a different person focusing your handicapping around.
Gino, it's all about T-shirt sales. Let's face it. He's
Merchandising. That's where the money is.
It is.
Giorgio.com. He's selling them like hotcakes. Let's face it. So
I'm actually working out a sponsorship deal with That's What G Said with Giorgio.com. So I'll promote them soon. You're going to hear commercials on my show in about a week or so with me and Georgie and our voices promoting those shirts.
yeah, Cindy Carava will be selling homes
There we
in a
go.
Val Brinkerhoff shirt for
Absolutely.
Jet. That's what G said. All right.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, Gino. There we go.
Always, Georgie. I love you, brother.
All right, boys. Football has started. That means most people are going to tune her over anyways. First post 1 o'clock. Giant carry of over 400,000 in the pick 5.
And
Gentlemen,
those
thanks.
pick'em contests. Don't forget another round of the pick'em. They're free. They start and they'll be talking a lot about today's card. You've already handicapped because you're looking at the pick 5, so you've already looked at most of the races anyways. As George is holding up that promotion right there, $1,000 to the winner every Saturday, Sunday, totally free. And pick'em.santanita.com. Go check it out right now.
Yeah, that's the second best bet in racing. The first best bet is this pick 5 today with all that free money in there. So, all right,
Yes.
boys, good luck. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Good luck,
Everybody
good luck,
else out
Skippy.
there,
Good luck, George. Good luck, Chappie.
Good luck, guys.
Later.